Punch the sky, Spaceman Joe. Yeah.
I found two stories for this week's paranormal news from Werewolf Radar. We're going into it.
Oh shit! Ah!
Be spooked, be surprised. I have first we'll go into a man claiming a mischievous child ghost pushed a shopping cart into his car. And then we're going to go into the story of a pastor who was finally buried after 2 years because his family believed he was going to be resurrected. So to start,
Maybe the two are connected.
Maybe the two are connected. Let's watch the video. So here we have it. Nate,
we got video footage.
I have video footage.
See, here's what happened. You walked by and said something, didn't you?
My jacket was broke.
Oh, okay. Look, you said something to it, right? You must have said something to it because it took offense.
I don't think so. It looks like he's just looking.
Got it right there and it started moving. Oh, you shouldn't have said anything. Look at this.
Anyway, a man's walking to his car. And if you want to watch the video, go to our YouTube. Man walked to his car, past a shopping cart that just standing there all by itself.
You shouldn't have said that to me. And then, suddenly, oh, you still have...
Watch. Starts to move.
I'm coming for you. And you said, the car.
And it goes right for his car. And watch this. It avoids that car.
This is that one. Let it swerve right into it.
Wow.
You still not in yet. See? I'm coming for you. And
One
you
more
said,
time so everyone can see it.
It has to go to you.
Go to our YouTube if you want to watch.
And look, it misses
And
that
it just
one,
and it turns away from this other car to hit his. So my best guess, if it is a ghost, which I don't know how to really explain how this happens.
Yeah, that was pretty insane.
Okay, so yes, shopping carts are known for being wibbly. They can push
They
them
wibble,
down a
they
hill,
wobble.
They could turn one this way and that.
Thing turned around. I mean, that went what, 90 something degrees?
And it's not like it was windy or anything from the looks of things. And I don't know. A lot of things can be happening.
Is the wind going
here.
to push a cart?
They
That's
can,
what I'm
man. I'm
saying,
not going to say they can't, but
I mean, it could, but it's a mesh.
It's very strange. It's very strange, at least. And it seems very pointed.
so this happened at a supermarket outside of Dallas, Texas. The kid was leaving work when this happened.
Yeah.
My best guess is that his jacket broke, like what the kid was saying,
Yeah.
and he curses. He's all like motherfucker or some shit, you know?
Oh.
The ghost doesn't like this. It's a kid ghost, you know?
Yeah.
So it's all like, you shouldn't be cursing, mister. That's my kid voice.
Swearing, mister.
Yeah,
Boy.
and it just takes that cart and goes after him.
I don't know. Little kids love it when you swear, though.
Maybe this
It's
was
hilarious.
like a really Ned Flanders son type kid.
Just a little narc, a little fucking Rod or Todd.
Yes. So that's that footage. That was footage of a supposed ghost child pushing a cart out of nowhere into this kid's car. And then while searching on the news, I also saw this, and this other one was from Unexplained Mysteries. This other story comes from odditycentral.com and is titled Pastor Finally Buried 2 Years After His Death Because Family Awaited His Resurrection.
You'd think once they get to 3 days, they would have been like, okay, this isn't happening.
Yeah, he's no Jesus.
So
although okay, so that's the thing is like Jesus was like the Michael Jordan of
he's
being
the
resurrected,
Ubermensch.
right?
Yeah, so Maybe it's
So
like
he
3
can do it in
years for
3
a normal
days.
guy.
You need
I
to leave a
mean,
normal guy at least 2
listen,
years to give him a
Jesus, I
shot.
think, gets a lot of credit
Mm-hmm.
for just that one time.
Mm.
But like he only did it the one time. We don't know
But
how
what
good
a
he is.
revival it was.
Yeah, we don't know how good at reviving he actually is. He just did it once and then was all like, "I'm done."
Oh, you think it's beginner's
Fair
luck,
enough.
huh?
You think it might have been a spell from a scroll, not from the dome.
Yes.
I think he went in there. I think it was a Romeo and Juliet. I think he faked it. He was like, "Oi, I can't take this being the son of God anymore." And he was like, you know what? I died." And he faked the whole crucifixion stuff. And then he went in there and he lived in Japan. You guys know Jesus went to Japan, right?
We've covered
That is
it.
true.
We've covered it
Mhm.
before, and I'm on board.
Mm-hmm.
This is not one of those cases, though, of faking your death to get out of the cult you just created and just living in Japan, being a free man in Japan.
Free man Japan.
So in South Africa, Pastor Siva Moodley died in 2021, but his body was only now laid to rest last month at the end of March, after spending almost 600 days at a mortuary because his family and parishioners were expecting him to come back to life.
Now, did he tell them? Was he like, "Now don't bury me because I got some shit cooked up"?
So Siva Moodley, the founder of the Miracle Center in Gauteng, north of Johannesburg, died in August 15th, 2021 after falling ill. However, instead of making preparations for his funeral, his family simply left his body at the mortuary awaiting his resurrection.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I suppose if you found a miracle center, it's kind of expected of you.
I like how the family, though, in this, how this is written makes it seem like the family was all like, "Oh, there's no reason to deal with this. He's gonna be up and walking in a few days."
Big time. This reeks of like when people ignore something because they don't want to emotionally deal with it. You know, like, he's not dead. Don't worry, he's not dead. He'll be back. And you just put him on ice, and you're like, "He'll be back. He'll be back." And by the time you've had 2 years to process the death, then you could be like, I think I'm gonna let go.
Maybe. His wife and other members of his family came to the mortuary to pray for his return, but they stopped coming after a few months when they were being asked to give their consent for Moodley's burial or cremation. They just refused to deal with the situation. To make matters worse, they even refused to acknowledge the pastor's death within the church, conducting services in his place until the day he decided to come back to life.
Guys,
so they didn't even worship? Isn't that how he's going to come back to life?
No, they did sermons in his place,
but they refused to acknowledge that he died.
But they were like, "Yeah, I'll be doing the sermons while Pastor Siwa works on,
crawling his way back from the light."
So after
crawling his way back out of the pit.
After months passed and Siva Moodley's body remained in the mortuary, the owner started contacting the family, trying to obtain their consent for burial or cremation. They're just like knocking and calling and be like, "Please, we only have so much preservative. The body's beginning to smell." Stating on numerous occasions that failing to dispose of the body in a timely manner posed serious health and environmental risks.
Yeah, dog.
This is how you get BTs. They haven't played Death Stranding. They don't know.
That's really weird. I was just thinking today that I need to play that game.
You should. Have you not? Think about it. I'm playing it right now on the PS5. I've just beat Ghost of Tsushima, Nate.
It rules, man.
Yes, I made what I think was the honorable choice.
Well, you don't really get to make
Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
that choice.
They
Can
failed. Maybe I found the secret ending. Anyway, they failed to obtain Moodley's consent. And soon the deceased pastor's family stopped replying entirely. In the end, the only option available for the mortuary was legal action against the family. A quote from the mortuary owner: "This is a civil matter, and I cannot make the decision to bury or cremate him on my own. It has come to from his family, but they are not saying anything. He was a well-known man, but does not deserve this kind of treatment. I hope the court can provide some relief."
Yeah, this is like fucked up to do to someone. I'd be pretty pissed if, like, it was like, guys, how long have I been here? 2 years? Put me in the ground. Come on.
So court documents showed that Sive Moodley's, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing his name wrong,
I'll bet you're
and this might be a typo. They've spelled it two different ways here. We'll go with the first way. Siva Moodley's widow, Jessie, explained her family's reluctance to consent to the pastor's funeral by claiming that she had a vision that the religious leader coming back to life. However, after seeing evidence that the family had been contacted a total of 28 times about the man's body and receiving reports from local authorities about the health hazards posed by the body, the Gauteng High Court in Johannesburg authorized the mandatory burial or cremation.
Yeah.
I mean, this kind of sounds like they're avoiding a bill.
It kind of does, doesn't it?
The court's decision was suspended for a month so that it could be served on Moodley's immediate family. The funeral home clarified they did not want to infringe on anyone's religious freedom. They just had to abide by health regulations.
Yeah. Hey, look, we don't want to be assholes here, but can you come get your corpse?
Siva Moodley's body was finally laid to rest at West Park Cemetery in Johannesburg.
Wow.
His wife and two children.
28 times?
28 times they tried to get
Right, so that's one letter per month, with the first and last months being like 3 letters.
Yeah.
For 2 years.
Yeah.
Now, the wife and 2 children did not attend the funeral.
Well, because, he's not there. He's living in their hearts.
Yeah, he's coming back soon.
So that's the paranormal news for this week. I got the bizarre video of a child pushing a cart into someone's car.
Yeah, that shopping cart video is
A ghost child, yeah. I don't know how to explain that. Check that out on our YouTube. I will separate the video so you can see that separately. And then a pastor who was finally buried after... I'm going to blame it on the pastor. I'm going to say the dead guy refused to resurrect himself. This is his fault.
Sure.
Pastor finally buried 2 years after his death because the family was waiting his resurrection.
He's just back there clinging to the grave.
Holding on to the dirt for dear life like he's in love with the worms or some shit.
Unbelievable.
If you like what we do here, check us out on Twitter, Instagram, our website, werewolfradar.com. You can...
That's some of the shit.
If you had a paranormal experience happen to you, you can tell us and we'll share it on the main episode.
Please tell us. We would love to hear them. We love hearing ghost stories.
We also
And
have
we'll be
a
nice.
We also have a merch store, a Patreon, patreon.com/werewolfradar. But truly the best way to help us is to go on to Spotify, go on to Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review wherever you can. It's free, the easiest and best way to support us. So if you could, do that. And you know what? We'll dedicate this episode to you.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Here's to you.
The people
Here's to you, 5-starer.
Yeah, 5-star. Now on the count of 3, let's give our super secret sign-off line from one Dylan Gutierrez. 1, 2, 3. Suspect the void, space person ever.
If it's true, then you understand you've been lied to. For soul removal, that means that you losing every time you don't know the fucking truth.